No. No. Oh. No. No. Hey Jerry, how you doing? How'd you hit him out there? Oh my God, you should have seen me on that first hole. I hit it 340, cleared that sand trap like it wasn't even there. Whoa, 340. You're almost ready for the back tees. Man, I was bombing that thing 360 all day long. I didn't even notice any fairway bunkers. I just cropped over the tree line, taking the tiger line. Don't worry, I got it. Oh wow, you guys can hit it a long ways. I hit it like 230 down the middle on the first. I was pretty happy with that. I ended up with a par on the hole. I shot 230? I'm sorry, can you repeat that? I thought I heard 230. Well, yeah, I mean, I really have been concentrating on my kind of total game. I got these birdie balls, but I can't practice my driver with them, so I haven't been able to increase my distance. So, what am I supposed to do? 230. No, I couldn't drive it anymore. Go, come on, go. Oh my God, you really got a hold of that one. I think you put it right next to where my 10-year-old son drove it last week. No. Oh. Hello everybody, my name is Adam and this is From the Rough to the Fairway. We've got another product review coming your way today. This time we're accompanying a review that I've already done on the Birdie ball, right here. And we're going into the Velocity tee. Now the Birdie ball itself can't be used with a normal golf tee. So if you want to use this to practice, then you're gonna need the Velocity tee or something similar, I guess, in order to hit your driver with the Birdie ball, or hit your Birdie ball with the driver. So we're gonna roll through my initial takes on the product. I'll show you the product itself. We're also gonna I'm gonna show you some of the video that I took while I was testing it at my local park. And then I'll give you my final verdict on whether or not this is something that you should get for yourself. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this review of the Velocity tee. All right, so let's get one thing out of the way. I mean, does it work for its intended purpose? Is it going to hold up a birdie ball so that you can hit your driver with it? The answer to that is a very easy, resounding yes. It sits on there pretty nicely. You can indeed hit the driver with it. Did it many times. Sometimes this flies not very far, and sometimes it flies pretty far. But it's nice and big. You're not going to lose it. Finding these is a lot harder than finding this. So it does absolutely work, and I did also find that the smaller one, this one, did also work for my 3-wood, but there are some caveats with that. I felt like I had to really aim for hitting this, because this is a lot, that's a personal thing. This is way taller than I would ever tee up my 3-wood. So I felt like I was trying to hit up onto it so that I could make sure I was making sweet contact with the birdie ball itself. But it also worked, and depending on how high you tee up your 3-wood, it could work very well or maybe not as well. Now that same criticism though works with the driver, because everyone, tees up their driver to different heights, right? I actually have been using these tees called 4 More Yards, and they're plastic tees, and the reason I've kind of liked them is because I get consistency in how high I'm teeing the ball up. I actually use the 2 3/4 inch ones, so they're quite short compared to how tall some people might like to use tees. So this was pretty high, even though it doesn't look high. It was actually pretty high, probably because this is so tall, but it did work. It's something to consider, that you have absolutely no adjustability in how high you tee up this, the birdie ball. So kind of like, if you got a rubber tee at a driving range, you know, that's set it, and you don't have any flexibility on that unless you buy your own rubber you take with you. This is the same boat, you can't adjust it. I guess maybe you could try and cut it. I didn't do that, but yeah, that's definitely a limitation. So there was one other big issue that I found when I was using the Velocity Tee, and so this is a nice new birdie ball. And this is a used birdie ball, hit with the driver a handful of times. I don't know, this thing's probably been hit 30 times. And as you can maybe see here, hopefully you can, it's very misshapen. It's no longer a perfect circle. And in fact, I was noticing on a few shots that it was starting to really peel off to the right. And it didn't seem like that was the normal golf flight. If I'd hit a golf ball like that, I don't think it was gonna snap, you know, slice off right. I think that the product had, you know, the birdie ball was kind of misshapen, and it no longer held the great flight characteristics that make me like the birdie ball so much that it did seem like it mimicked a real golf ball flight. But when I was hitting it with the driver and really was bending it, it lost a little bit of that honest ball flight. At least that's what I think. Okay guys, so this is the demonstration at the local park with the Velocity Tee and my driver. Now my impressions were it felt good, just like with the irons. It had a nice sound at impact. The ball flight was controllable and it looked realistic. It showed me my misses right, my misses left, up and down. It moved, but right there you saw it. I popped it up so many times with this birdie ball, with the Velocity Tee. And I think that a big part of that was that it's too tall for me, personally. I found myself having to adjust my swing so that I was making good contact with the ball rather than trying to actually groove my swing and get a good feel with the driver. Here you can actually hear what the birdie ball sounds like. A turbine sound. Now, not to toot my own horn, but I do have a higher swing speed. It's been a couple of years since I went to get my swing measured at all, but the last time I did, my driver's swing speed was right around 120, so, and actually it was like 120 to 122, so it was definitely a little bit, you know, faster, and I don't know, you know, what it would be like at lower swing speeds. Probably fine. I still felt when I was hitting like my 3-iron and my 3 hybrid off the mat, you know, they were a little bit misshapen, but they were still flying super consistently, and I didn't think that anything was wrong. It wasn't until I gave it a good few whacks with the driver that all of a sudden I started seeing some flights that didn't you know, look quite right. So while I was disappointed that, you know, the ball flights started to take a turn for the worse with more and more strikes on the birdie ball with the driver, up until then, it was still flying really well. It was going about a maximum of 65, maybe 70 yards, and the ball flights looked good. I had some that were certainly my miss, the nice hard cut right slice, and I was able to hit a little bit lower, hit some draws though it was a bit windy, and so I still felt, just like in my initial take on the birdie ball when I was hitting with my irons, that you could manipulate the birdie ball and you could get that feeling that you were hitting a golf ball just as you normally would and trying to work it just as you normally might at the driving range. You know, I think it was a success. The Velocity Tee allowed me to hit my driver and the birdie balls at the same time, and you know, I got the same effect. I thought that it was a good combination, and it worked up until the birdie ball, you know, started to get too deformed. Okay guys, so no more messing around. What is my final verdict on the Velocity Tee? Well, I think I love the birdie ball, and I really wanted to be able to hit my driver with the birdie ball because it's really cool to be able to go to the park, you know, work on my game, be able to flight shots, see what I would see with a golf ball. It was great. So the idea of doing that with my driver still at the park was pretty awesome. But the reality is, even if you know, the birdie ball didn't start to get a little bit bent and deformed. I don't think that it's quite there. You know, not being height adjustable, obviously I knew getting it would be height adjustable, just didn't realize how big a deal that would be. I didn't like, it was way too high. I actually straight up popped up more than a couple, and that's not something that happens to me that often at the golf course. Even if it does happen more often than it should. It was happening too much with the birdie ball, I mean the velocity tee. So, you know, I wanted to be able to hit my driver with it, but this is not the best way. Maybe there's another way. I saw a couple hacks, maybe I'll try them out. You just cut a piece of cardboard, stick it underneath the birdie ball, put that onto a regular tee and have at it. And that sounds like a pretty decent idea. But the velocity tee was certainly didn't quite deliver for me. The 3-wood tee for sure is way too high for my taste. I like to tee it up just a little bit off the ground, and this thing puts you pretty far up off the ground, as you can see. So I would have to say for the velocity tee, no is the answer. Should you buy it? No. All right, everybody. I hope you enjoyed that video. Please be sure to smash that like button and subscribe to this channel because we have a lot of great content coming your way. And if you have any ideas for topics you'd like me to cover in future videos, let me know in the comments below because I would love to do them. So, until next time, keep on finding that fairway.